take this alligator, turn it into a character. Already done quite a bit of research on it. Sometimes you need to do this type of research to get like the full essence of whatever creature it is. Skeleton, and then also some research as far as drawings. Maybe this one is people swimming with alligators, but then also things like this, drawings of the animal as it is, just to study its personality. And then on to creating the character and the style. So there's imitating styles and copyright. So when you're looking at styles, don't copy them exactly, but styles are not copyrightable. Only the artwork is copyrightable. So imitating styles is fine, because you look at a lot of games that have imitated styles, like you have, what is it, Cuphead, is in the style of 1930s cartoons, like Mickey Mouse or whatever, Felix the Cat, and quite a few cartoons. So it's imitating that 1930s style. So the style is not copyrightable, but the artwork is. So imitating a style is fine. Copying the artwork exactly is not fine. People do it to learn. Yes, you can practice things to learn them. That's called fan art, or that's called study. In education, you can study something up to 15% of anything directly, I think it is. But anyway, we're just looking at this for reference. So you can use anything for reference. And when you're creating a character, we'll call this reference. G. This is the ref sheet, and photo ref, and file ref. So every production that's made usually goes through this. They will create a style guide or a mood board to study types of styles that they want, both from artwork and also from images. In fact, AI generated imagery is done the same way. If you were creating characters with like Mid-Journey, the AI program, you would type in a description, and all Mid-Journey does is scour the internet and then mash all those images together based on your description. So anyway, this is a ref sheet, and they will do some sketches with this open, so you can kind of like see what happens. Like, one thing I noticed about alligators already, really closely at this alligator, they always look like they're smiling. I think that's pretty funny. Even this one that's walking, it looks like it has a smile on it. But I always thought that was funny. Most of these cartoons play on that. So you can see here that this one has a sort of smile. You can see it here in the real animal. This one has sort of a different personality, but it still has a smile here on this one. And this one always has the smile. So that's like one key feature on the alligator, is that smile. Brushes, usually use this one, Shape Dynamics, for sketching. You can use any color that you want. The difference between these styles is this one is more angular, like that, and this one is more rounded. And this would be like a simplified style, and this one would be more has more volume, more three-dimensional. This one's flat. Okay, so those are kind of, and this one's kind of halfway between those two styles. So for this one, I'm going to try both. I do like both of those simple styles, but of course it will be different. And I like the tail curling up like this tail here. Okay, that's pretty funny. I'll do something like that, but going up like this. And it's got this on this photograph. It's got this big throat, so that's pretty cool. So give it like a. And one thing is that the real alligators look like they have an overbite, so I'm going to give it an underbite instead. Let the bottom jaw stick out further. With the tooth sticking out, that might be kind of funny. But still give it that smile. So that would be a sketch. So let's turn the opacity way down and up there. When you're designing characters, 3/4 view, this is 3/4 front is usually the way it's designed, and that means it would have like this grid, a line, and then an angle for the feet to stand on like this. So you can also try the head larger or smaller and see what happens. It looks more cartoony. I think I like it larger. What do you guys think? Larger or small? That's a large one. And small. I think a large one. So that's one design. Usually at a studio, you would do up to 20, 30, 40. In some cases, it can be up to hundreds of designs. It just depends. So this is one technique. This is sketching. And this one is silhouette. So I'll do silhouette. Silhouette is one of my favorite ways to design. And it's using drawing and erasing. So you'd use the eraser to give you details. So I'm going to do silhouette similar to this because I do like that design. So I'm probably going to stick with that one. But I do have another idea for you. So silhouette, I'm going to keep it similar to that one because I do like that style. But this is drawing from silhouette. One thing though, I am going to change the leg position. Sometimes this is easier to design with because when you're designing with silhouettes, it just gets you to focus just on one thing. So with lines, you're focusing on all of the lines. With silhouette, you're just focusing on the shape. So that's just the drawing. Let's do the eraser. So with the eraser, you can clean up along the edges. One thing with this tool, eraser, if you tap and then hold shift, tap, and put it in different angles, you can draw with that. I'm erasing there. So that's a good way to clean up the edges. So tap with the eraser, hold shift, draw the angle, and that's one way to clean up the edges. Another way is you can use the lasso tool. So the lasso tool The angular one is my favorite for this. There's also a smoothing tool, so you can go to rough settings and turn on the smoothing tool, and this will give you smoother, cleaner lines. It controls your hand movement. So, although I was using these things for reference, it doesn't look like any of them, right? The arm might be in the wrong spot. Another thing you can do, I usually do this anyway, duplicate it. And you can hide the reference now. To explore your design a little bit further, another thing you can do is Control T and forward click and warp. Warp is a lot of fun. Just like stretch it all around, see what would look good. Maybe you could get a better design from that. Totally different character from the same silhouette. So you can also do that with the sketch as well. Right there. Alright. So the purpose for the silhouette is turn on the opacity once you have the silhouette you want. I'm going to make a new layer. And sorry, not turn down the opacity. I'm going to change Control U. Turn it to grayscale like that. Okay. Then on the new layer, I'm going to go Edit, Stroke. You have to hold Control. So if you hold down Control and see where the layer is, it's this image box. It will select it. Now you go Edit, Stroke, and it will draw the outside lines for you. Very cool. Now all you need to do is draw the inside lines. A lot of character designs where there's a flaw in the design. One pretty famous one is Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse's ears is not in proper perspective. That's a pretty famous mistake. It's not really a mistake. It's more like just the way it's designed. So no matter which way you look at Mickey Mouse, you see two ears instead of one. Duplicate the silhouette and choose any color, doesn't matter. That's on a different layer, so I still have the silhouette. You need a darker color and a lighter color. I think its belly will be lighter. Other color. And darker color would probably be for the fins and the back. So if you do want to try different colors on, Control U and slide through different colors to see which one you like. Just a few more things for presentation. I'm going to present this character like this. We could use the whole background, or we could do like one section. If you use the whole background, I'll duplicate the background and choose a color that complements this character. Okay, now the darker blue character pops in front of this. And let's give it, if you duplicate that layer, Control U and darken it. And we want to give it like a cartoon glow. So we'll use an eraser, an airbrush eraser. This one, really big, and this is on top of that background. Touch it once, and you get a glow like that. Like that. So if you want it to be higher contrast, you can make the bottom layer brighter, maybe more saturated. Yeah, and then make the top layer, the dark layer, this thing, more saturated and darker. That's a really nice cartoon effect. So then let's go add, it needs a ground shadow because right now it looks like it's floating. So M, hold Shift, tap in, duplicate another key tool, and just draw a little oval like that below it. And that gives you a fake ground shadow, something like that. You can make it longer if you want. And we use the darker, make sure you make a new layer for that. Use the darker color. This is like a single tone cartoon character. And the lines are pink as well. So if you wanted to add a two-tone, so this would be a single tone, like there's three colors, but they're single tones of each. You could duplicate this paint layer, duplicate that layer, and Control U, make it darker, and raise the contrast, saturation when you do that. And we'll just imagine that there is a light source. And the light source, this is very important. If you're going to do any kind of lighting, even fake cartoon lighting, just imagine what light source is. And that is a typical type of light source. 3/4 front. So that's what I'm imagining. So this is that shadow layer. So I just created the shadow layer. And so on the shadow layer, you just erase where you think the light will hit. If you want a soft, rounded style, you can do that. I do like more sharper shadows, but this comes in handy for other types of art, so I'll hide that one. So I'm going to do a sharper shadow, so it looks like 2D animation. So I'll use this solid brush for the eraser, and just erase on this layer. Anything, anywhere you think I like to be. There, and on top of the lip, and on the top of the nostril. Remember, it's a cartoon, so it does not have to be perfect. So there would be something like this. Okay, that would be, and probably I would turn it down a bit. Just turn the opacity down for you to saturate it a bit more. Okay, we'll just look at what that is again, because it's just an erased copy, an erased layer. So that's the line mark. That's the full color.